I'm torn on biggest winner because I'm going to say Trump because he did not participate in the last debate, and then he lost in Iowa, so he had to regain his footing, and I think he did. You can't look at it as a progressive. You got to try to judge it as best as you can on how would Republicans perceive it, right? So that's what we're judging here, who won the debate in political terms with the Republican electorate. I think he did his alpha male act again. I think it worked. He bullied a lot of people on the stage, and they look like weenies by comparison. As soon as Trump steps on the stage, Cruz melts, right? And so I think Cruz got the most hurt in that sense from it. But the reason I'm torn is because Christie was super strong today. I mean, he hammered Rubio, landed a couple of kidney shots, and crumbled him. And if he had done this earlier, if you remember in the earlier debates, Christie did that whole line about, you guys are trying to get us to fight, you liberal media, but I'm not going to fight. Now all of a sudden he's down to 5 points in New Hampshire.
He's ready to fight.
And he's ready to fight. Now all of a sudden he's a tough guy, but he should have done that from the beginning. I think he would have gotten more traction. But at the end of the day, I still think Trump's the biggest winner out of this debate.
So my answer is a little different. I agree with you in terms of the Republicans. I think that Trump's the biggest winner. However, I think the biggest winner of this debate is actually Bernie Sanders. Because for the first time, the Republicans are mentioning him in their attacks. He got mentioned several times during the Republican attacks. They didn't take him seriously before, and now I think they see him as more of a threat. Before it was just about Hillary, and now all of a sudden they're like, you don't want Bernie Sanders in office. Yes, we do.
Okay. No, look, when you said Bernie Sanders, I was like, how are we going to do this? We are so biased. How do we get Bernie Sanders to win this debate? Right? But you make a really good point. All of a sudden, it's not just Hillary Clinton anymore. Half the candidates are saying, you don't want Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. Right?
And
so that is a big win for him in terms of, look, the perception of electability is a huge, huge issue for him. And here's the Republican candidates reinforcing that he might be their candidate and might beat him. And you don't want him to win, is what they're telling Republican voters.
I think that it's probably Christie, because I think to say that somebody wins a debate, I think implies that they get something out of the debate. And I don't see how, look, Trump did better than he would have if he'd, hidden from another debate. Certainly it was better for him to be here for him. But he gave not only the same performance that he always has in terms of saying roughly the same things. His closing address was exactly the same, except I think will win is actually stupider than will win at everything. So that was the only variation. The only new thing that he said was eminent domain is awesome. And I don't think that you pick up a lot of support that way. I think at best people are bored by that or don't understand what it means. What standout line? He didn't have his 9/11 moment, as cheap as that was with Ted Cruz. I mean, what did he say that was interesting or that would resonate? If you're a Trump fan and you're entertained by Trump, this should have been a pretty boring Trump performance, I think. Whereas Christie asserted himself in the way that we expected a year and a half that he would bully people around and throw his weight around. We thought he would do that, and I think that he actually did it. And he actually has something to gain, like any support at all. And so I think that he might come
I'll be Jeb Bush, and you be Trump, and you shush me, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, that's
no,
true.
Hey.
Come on.
Okay, you swayed me. And
He did shut up.
But in the background, Carson actually just went to sleep.
He did shut up. I think
He did shut up. That was sad. That was sad.
So the big loser, again, Jeb Bush, said the big
That's
winner
true.
is anybody who got to enjoy David Muir's good-lookingness.
Yes.